Greetings, viewers. Today, let's discuss cylindrical space colonies. Why cylindrical space colonies, you ask? Well, in an earlier video entitled What to the Negro is Science Fiction and Futurism, I remember bringing up the concept of the cylindrical colony in reference to the book Aurora by Kim Stanley Robinson. And looking back at the video, I thought that maybe some people hadn't heard of that concept because sometimes when you're when you're deep in sci-fi, all these new concepts you become aware of them and you think everybody else is aware of them. So I thought maybe we could briefly go over what that is. So whenever we humans do get up into space in earnest, like when we're actually out there colonizing, we're going to have to do it in ways that is safe for us, economical for us. It doesn't take too much resources, and we're able to function similar to how we function on Earth. In 1974, the physicist Gerald K. O'Neill proposed the idea, a cylindrical habitat for humans. In the essay, The Colonization of Space, O'Neill details why a cylindrical habitat is needed. The cylindrical shape was chosen because you're able to make two large habitats that can overlap each other, and each can rotate in the opposite direction. In doing that, you're able to replicate Earth's gravity, because when it's spinning, that's going to be causing pull and push on the people living in the cylinder. But if you only have one layer, the cylindrical habitat would eventually start to drift off its course because of the spinning. So you put one layer on top of the other layer, and then they both spin in opposite directions at the same speed, and it will never drift off course. He proposed in his essay that the earliest cylindrical colonies would have to be at most 4 miles in diameter and 16 miles in length. And with that much space, you'd be able to have at least 10,000 people living on the colony. You'll be able to have mountains, you'd be able to have bridges, not oceans, but lakes, and other types of living arrangements there where humans can be very comfortable. These colonies would function similarly to the best places on Earth where people would want to live. It would have the best climate, it would have the best flora and fauna, and most people would want to live there. In his essay, he also discussed that you wouldn't put farms on the cylindrical colonies where humans were living. The reason for that is because if you did that, you'd have to also employ pesticides. You'd have to also change the environment so the crops could be healthy. So for that reason, he proposed that you'd have other cylinders for farming, just devoted straight to farming. You'd have other cylinders for agriculture. And you would have these cylinders next to the ones where humans live, no more than 20 miles away. That way, there would always be fresh food for the people living on the cylinder. O'Neill cylinders are superior to other forms of space life because, for one, you make a very thick hull, which would be able to protect against meteors and other space debris that might not be possible on other types of habitats. You can have many different cities, functional cities there where people are living. You can have a simple O'Neill cylinder that's staying in place where people are living, that's just orbiting the Earth. So when it comes to living in space, the cylinder is superior to other habitats. It's also quite simple to design. In his essay, he discusses that you're going to need aluminum, glass, water, plants for electricity, and you're going to need certain types of hardware that you can only produce on Earth. And all of that is easily gotten from Earth. You're going to need 20,000 tons of aluminum, 10,000 tons of glass, 50,000, at least 50,000 tons of water, maybe close to 500,000 tons of soil, and various other tools. But with this would be the smallest O'Neill cylinder, which could hold at least 10,000 humans. With this, you can build those in pieces on Earth, send them up, and then from there, you can start developing other cylinders from resources in space. There's a few names for this. There's the O'Neill cylinder, there's the cylindrical habitat, and the Island 3 design. Moving forward, you'll probably hear me mention these some, and now you'll know what I'm talking about. O'Neill cylinder, what is that? A can? Well, it's shaped like a can, but it's, several orders of magnitude larger than a can. If you want a quick reference to what an O'Neill cylinder looks like and what it functions like, you'll find them in the Gundam anime. You'll find them in Interstellar, the movie. You'll find them in the book Aurora. You'll find them in the book Rama by Arthur C. Clarke. And finally, you'll find them in Babylon 5. Although I have never seen Babylon 5, it's always been on my list. But I hear that they're prominent in Babylon 5. That kind of makes me want to check it out more. Back to O'Neill's essay, he discusses that if we utilized O'Neill cylinders, we would be able to house upwards of 20,000 times the amount of humans that are on Earth. He wrote that in the 70s, so what, like 5-6 billion people? I could do the math, but I'm not. Just imagine 20,000 times whatever's on Earth in the 70s. Another example for the cylinder would be to house endangered species and allow them to live in their most beneficial habitat. A lot of animals on Earth are endangered by humans' agricultural needs. We grow things, and the bees, birds, buffalo, on some of the human cylinders, you could put some of these endangered creatures and allow them, and then they'll be able to flourish. They'll be able to flourish outside of having to only live on Earth. It'll build in some redundancy to Earth's life. You'd also have unlimited space for industry. You could have some cylinders that are only factories for building other things. There's endless uses for these O'Neill cylinders. Alright, so that is cylindrical space habitats. Hope it was informative. Y'all be good out there. If you found this interesting, comment, let me know what you think. If you've seen O'Neill cylinder in other media, drop the media. I like to read about how other authors write about them. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, peace.